trees could disappear from the countryside, killed by the fungus that causes a disease called Ash Dieback. But researchers at the University of Warwick say they've identified chemical compounds in the leaves of ash trees which can provide a way to find trees which are naturally resistant to the disease. And that provides a glimmer of hope for the future. Here's our environment correspondent, David Gregory-Kumar.
350 ash trees on Warwick Edge in Shropshire are so badly affected by Ash Dieback, they're going to have to be chopped down. And that's because trees with Ash Dieback are dangerous. Sadly, this won't stop the spread of the disease.
It is primarily about safety. Controlling the disease is really right out of our remit. It's a wind-borne fungal spore disease, so trying to stop that really not possible.
Well, this mark means this tree is going to be cut down. It's got Ash Dieback, it's got the fungal disease. It's dangerous. But not all ash trees actually get Ash Dieback. Some are naturally resistant. So what if you could find those trees and maybe use them to breed an entirely resistant generation of ash trees? That's what they're trying to do at the University of Warwick, looking for chemical markers in the ash tree leaves that indicate resistance. And you start by grinding up the ash leaves themselves.
Well, when we get our samples in the lab, what we're essentially doing is kind of the same thing as when you're making a cup of tea. We're grinding up dried leaves and we're adding a solvent to them. It's just we're not using hot water, we're using cold organic solvents instead. And then we're feeding those compounds into an instrument which will tell us how many different compounds there are, and then we can use that as a tool to find which compounds indicate resistance.
But this is long-term research. It could take years to produce enough disease-resistant ash trees to replace the ones we're losing. And on Warwick Edge, the old trees won't be replaced. Instead, nature will start over, and perhaps that offers some glimmer of good news.
There will be a lot of deadwood in the wood for decades to come, and deadwood-loving species might well increase. So lesser-spotted woodpecker, for instance, which is down to about 30 pairs in Shropshire, really likes old rotting trees. So we might see an increase in species like that.
But with 100 million ash trees in the UK, parts of our familiar landscape will look very different in the next few years. David Gregory-Kumar, BBC Midlands Today, Warwick Edge.